Hey, so back here with the Project Steel 028. This is fourth video here. Last video we showed you figuring out where we want our ignition, or I'm sorry, our intake timing to be at, how we mark that, pulling the cylinder off, and that was, I think, pretty much the how to obviously translate that over into your cylinder. But so this, we made a few steps here since that video. One, cleaned off the top of the piston. This is in fact a very beautiful OEM steel piston in great shape, so we're gonna keep that. It has two great looking rings on it that I had put in there. They were new rings from when I had just rebuilt it a couple months ago. Again, kept it in stock orientation porting wise. So we're not going to replace those either. They both have a great ring gap on the cylinder. No issues there. So what we did do to the cylinder since then is we cleaned off the cylinder there, cleaned off that Durco that was on it, and we roughed in the exhaust port. I don't know if you, or I'm sorry, the intake port. Like we had talked about, I don't know if you can see that in there. But so we got that set in there. Obviously still going to polish it and whatnot, but and verify the numbers when you get it put back on there. But right now we're going to talk about laying out the exhaust timing. So how do we lay out exhaust timing? Well, we're going to start with our piston and bottom dead center here, 180 degrees, right? We got our cylinder here. We're going to actually use one of our rings to mark this, you know, the degree that we want to go ahead and cut this at. So our factory timing here for the exhaust is 105. Transfers for 123, right? So normally for a good small higher revving motor here, I'll normally go for a blowdown of about 20, maybe 22. So we're actually going to bring this down to 101, right, which will put us right at that 22 degrees blowdown. So we're going to put that from 105 to 101. So how do we figure out what that means to this cylinder here? Well, that's what we're going to learn today. So we're going to take one of these rings, and we're going to stick one of these rings here in this cylinder. I don't know if you can see that, right? Ring's kind of sitting in there, and I like to push it down, you know, fairly flush, close to the transfers, okay? And you can see where that is now. Okay, that's good. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take this, we're gonna put the cylinder over the piston, okay? Now, for the sake of this video, I'm going to hold this down with my hand. Normally, I would have two bolts there holding the cylinder on so that we're sure of where we're going to be at. But again, for the sake of videoing, I'm not going to do that. But numbers should end up the same either way. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and rotate this degree wheel. Again, we said we wanted to be at 101. Okay, so hold on 1 second here. I'll hold this down. Alright, so there we are at 101. Alright, so what did that do? That pushed the piston up in that cylinder and the ring along with it. So the bottom of that ring should sit right at 101 degrees. So we're going to back that back down to bottom dead center. Okay, we're going to pull that cylinder off. We're going to see where that ring is. Alright, so we can all see the factory exhaust port there, and we can all see the base of that ring. So the base of that ring, or the side that's facing us, is at 101 degrees. So what we're going to do is we're going to mark that with a Sharpie, and that'll give us our horizontal limit there of 101 degrees. And we'll go ahead and do some more measuring, figuring out how wide we want to go. Obviously, the wider you go, the less ring support you have. The less ring support you have, without proper chamfering or just piston cylinder design, ring design, right? You obviously can cut down on the life of the ring, cut down on the life of the cylinder. So just being that we want this to be a really, you know, a stout, fun little saw, we're probably not going to go too terribly wide with it. But we'll definitely widen it a little bit from stock. We'll open up the outside of the exhaust port here, and we'll come back with video 6 when all this is done and we start polishing. Transfers are laid out the same way. We put the ring in there. We'll figure out a transfer number that we want to go with. We'll lay it out, and we'll grind away. Thank you, and let me know if you have any questions.